Hey, so I've got some real life and real talk going on. We have lights in your face, unfortunately, because I need to do my nails. And the real talk is holy cow, if you can get your head around what I'm going to explain to you, if you can get these concepts down, whether you're in your 20s or your 60s, it's going to serve you for the rest of your life. So I would pull up a chair and listen. The jumping off point for the topic is going to be the idea of holiday waking. Is it a myth? Just because there's some murmurs on the web about the holiday waking being a myth, and of course the timing is appropriate because we are coming up on the holiday season over in the United States, and I also happen to just done a post about October, which is upcoming in a couple of weeks as of this recording, that October is the very best time if you had to choose in order to start your fitness journey in seriousness. And that coincides with all the changes that come along at this time, including the holidays. But this is such a good, important topic that it's a good thing that it's a standalone post. Um, so the holiday weight gain, it's not a myth. Okay, I'm going to bust some myths for you. This is not one of them. It's not a myth. I mean, of course, it's understandable. You have additional, holiday treats, vacations, gatherings, parties, traveling. All that's going to interrupt your eating habits. It tempts you for additional caloric intake, and then you're probably not going to be keeping up with your exercise regimen. When I say you, I mean, don't be offended if it's not you. I just mean us in general, the general population. And remember, this is real talk. Okay. So, however you feel about it doesn't change what is. So, we got to embrace what is first. Okay. Recognize and embrace what is first. Um, the holiday weight gain has traditionally been touted as somewhere between like 3 to 5 pounds. And that's what people are trying to refute, that it's not that high. But you could definitely understand that any sort of a vacation time, holiday time, special occasion time, other holidays besides the end of the year, that you've where you have seen a sudden uptick in your weight, but then you know exactly why, right? Because it was the vacation you just came off from. Those pounds, those holiday pounds, we'll call them, tend to be temporary, right? Because once you get back to your normal routine, most people are able to just sort of modulate uh, the their calories and their activity until they get back to normal fairly quickly. The real concern is what I call the creep. Okay, so we're going to use 1 pound a year, where we creep up a pound a year. And these pounds are sticky pounds. They're almost like permanent pounds. Okay, they're often permanent pounds for a lot of people. They don't have to be, but here's what I mean by that. I mean by the creep. The creep applies to the people who have, all things being equal, no change in their caloric intake, the type of foods, their activity level, or the type of activity. Okay, so all things being equal, you can expect a 1 pound a year creep. Why is this? It's because your metabolism starts slowing down in starting your early 20s naturally. Okay, so again, all things being equal, your metabolism will slow down. But again, to keep it simple, like we used the 1 pound a year, we're going to use the age 30 as a jumping point, okay? Because I'm kind of also making fun of the 30-year-olds who, think life is over at 30. So all of a sudden, 30 is the new 50, which is so funny to me because not too long ago, 40 was the new 20, right? Anyway, here's the insidious part about the creep. Okay, it's not the pounds. Okay, I'm going to keep talking about the weight, but I'm going to come back around and tell you it's not about the weight, kitties. Um, because it happens gradually and over, let's say, the course of a year or a long span of time, two things happen. You mentally think, oh, it's just a pound, it's not a big deal, and you normalize it. Your body, so your body separate from, your cognizance, is sensing that this additional 1 pound is your new normal and has now normalized it. Come to year 2, you gain another pound. Well, because you've normalized that previous pound, in your mind, you're not thinking, oh, I've gained 2 pounds. In your mind, you're thinking 1 pound. Oh, 1 pound, not a big deal. So you normalize that second pound, on and on until, let's say, you hit 40 with 10 pounds over. This is the point. The 10 pounds is sort of a magic number, because at 5 pounds, I can easily gain 5 pounds overnight during PMS. At 5 pounds, you could sort of dress around it, not a big deal. It's temporary, or, you're like, I think it's temporary. You get to 10 pounds, a lot of people suddenly notice it because they've also evenly distributed that pound over the years, those the pounds over the years. So unless you're a person that suddenly gains all their weight in one area of your body, like around your abs or around your hips, you're probably not going to notice it either until, especially if you don't, consider that you have a weight problem, right? Now you've normalized it. All during this time, you've also have a decline in your metabolism. So it's like this negative compound effect going on. But guess what else has happened? So I'm sorry. So at 10 pounds, let's go back to this magic number of the 10 pounds, or this key number of the 10 pounds. This is also where you actually have to change sizes. So at 5 pounds, you could kind of make whatever you have work. 10 pounds, you now have to actually go up a size in clothing. So now you have money, time, new wardrobe involved, or you have to make some real hard choices, right? Or you're like, okay, this is the new me. What has happened between 30 and 40? You've gained a lot more responsibilities, maybe a house, maybe a new promotion, maybe, additional cars, stuff, right? And all the responsibilities that come around that stuff, kids, husbands, relationships, you've accumulated past experiences. Now you have aging parents. You just have a lot more pulling on you mentally and emotionally to go back to, like, oh, well, when I was in my 20s, I could just, burn it off in a week. You don't have that capability probably anymore, all things being equal, like I said, with the decline that has been going on with your metabolism, with the new responsibilities, and the just whatever has happened over the course of 10 years. That's just not the same as when you were 20. Okay, again, this is I'm going to end it on a good note. Okay, so don't feel bad, and if you always remember, you're only one workout away from feeling good. So I haven't worked out in a few days, I think, so I don't feel good. I hope you do though, so you can feel good. Okay, so let's extrapolate this, project this all the way to when someone is 50. Like, I'm going to turn 50. You get 20 pounds. You've had 20 pounds to normalize this, because remember, your body loves homeostasis. It's always trying to get you back to normal weight. That's why a lot of people have such a hard time losing that last 5 pounds, last 10 pounds, because it's those sticky pounds that we're dealing with. So your body wants to hang on. 20 pounds. And what happens here is, a lot of times people, especially women, will say, well, it's 20 pounds. Well, no, I think men do as well. I used to work at Nordstrom's in the men's suits department, and it was just string after string of nonstop, just middle-aged men coming in to the tailor. So they bring back the suit that they bought. They go to they meet with our tailors, because Nordstrom had their in-house tailor shop there, to what we call let out, right? They have to make their waistband bigger, things like that. And they always say, oh, it's just temporary. It's just temporary. I just have this, temporary weight gain. I'll take it back in, okay? Well, at 50, if you've gained 20 pounds, some people just say, well, I'm 50. Of course, I'm not going to have the same body and same weight as when I was 20. Yes, but not necessarily. That's the myth that I want to bust. There's too many examples of people in their 50s and 60s who are more fit and who are better shape and all of that in their 20s. Yeah, there's going to be it's an the later you start, the harder, because other things happen, right? In your 40s, your eyesight, um, even if you have good eyesight, your peripheral vision starts to go, and it starts affecting your vestibular system, which affects your balance. So it's just it takes a little bit more effort or a little bit more finesse, but that age, blaming age is just not a thing. Okay, so that's the myth. Okay, so now the good news. When we are wanting to do something about this, right? Again, if you don't care, I don't care. Okay, um, happy if you're happy, but if you want to change something, that's what I'm here for. So here, oh God, I just forgot to mention the most important thing. I told you it's not going to be about the weight, right? So what is the weight that we keep talking about actually representing, right? It's not the number that's important. It's the fact that it represents being over fat and under muscled. This phrase is so important and critical. It comes from, as far as I know, Dr. Gabrielle Lyons. She is the muscle centric doctor, and I agree with about 75% of what she says, but the over fat and under muscled framework, okay, is so important. So what does this mean? It means that in order to combat this creep, we want to increase our metabolism. How do we increase our metabolism? We do muscle centric workouts. Okay, so that means running doesn't cut it. Doesn't it means hiking doesn't cut it. Um, it also doesn't mean that you need to do CrossFit, because remember, we want longevity and sustainability in what we do, even if we have to scale it with our age, stage, and phase. So how we specifically do muscle centric workouts that boost your metabolism is what I'm here to help with. But overall, the concept is this: the very first order of business is, so on the spectrum regarding depending on where you are in passing through the spectrum, the first level of the spectrum is that we just need to simply prevent any additional muscle loss, okay? Because part of aging, with all things being equal, comes muscle atrophy. So the first is muscle loss prevention. Then it's muscle mass retention. So we want to maintain and not lose any more the muscles that we have. And then we want to get to that point where we could add lean muscle mass, right? And for most people, unless you're for most people, we are going to want to add a little bit more muscle mass, right? And keep thinking that as you age, you're combating this decline. So the metabolism change is what's going to combat that normalization. You'll reset, right? You'll adjust that normal through the metabolism, okay? Not through calorie intake, because then your body will just adjust the metabolism to match your calorie intake. Anyhow, that's how you do it. And come this holiday season, just keep that in mind. Because we have this mindset where we allow ourselves to go, well, it's going to be January where I'll worry about the weight. The holidays are for enjoyment, right? We do all these little permissions in our head to rationalize. Okay, it just doesn't have to be that way. I am not saying don't enjoy the holidays. Believe me, you know me. But um, maybe this is the holiday, right? Maybe this is the end of the year. This is the October, November, December quarter, and the year where you actually get a leg up in January and don't put it off until January, and you combat that creep along with the holiday weight gain. All right.